Namaskar, good evening India. 1st July 2018 was a special day. It marked the first anniversary of the implementation of GST in India. It was also Chartered Accountants Day. And on this momentous occasion, Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind, launched the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. On the program today, we're focusing on the profession of accountancy. The questions are, how global has the profession of accountancy become? What are the new opportunities for the chartered accountants? What is the role of International Federation of Accountants? And to discuss on these aspects, joining me here in Delhi Doordarshan studios are a couple of distinguished guests. Please welcome Ms. Rachel Grimes. Good evening.
Good evening, India. I'm delighted to be with you today.
Pleasure is entirely ours. Rachel is the president with the International Federation of Accountants. Also, we have with us Chartered Accountant Naveen N.D. Gupta. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Amit. Very good evening to all the professional colleagues, friends in India and overseas.
And greetings on the CA Day and the Platinum Jubilee celebrations.
Greetings to you also, because you are a very proud chartered accountant and we are proud to have you as our member.
Thank you very much. Naveen N.D. Gupta ji is the president with the ICAI. Let me begin by asking you, Rachel, how global has the profession of accountancy become?
The global accounting profession is extremely wide. We've proven that. IFAC are very fortunate to have 175 members from 130 countries. It's completely global. We believe that this is the outstanding global profession.
And how do you see the association with the ICAI with India?
The association with IFAC in India has been a long one. The 70th anniversary yesterday of ICAI was very important. IFAC has been around 40 years. India held the last meeting before the signing of the document. India has been with IFAC for the whole of our time, and we look forward to them being with us in the future.
Naveen ji, do tell our viewers, how has the institute evolved? Because it was on 1st of July 1949 that the ICAI was born. Over the last 7 decades, how has been the institute's journey?
Institute of Chartered Accountants of India was formed by an Act of Parliament in the year 1949, and as all of us know that at that point of time our forefathers, our freedom fighters, our parliamentarians then gave so much importance to the profession of accountancy. It has a lot of meaning that we were constituted. The Act of Parliament known as the Chartered Accountants Act 1949 was formed even before the constitution of the country was adopted. That was adopted on 26th January 1950 and we were formed on 1st July 1949. We were created basically at that point of time. Some body was required, some professional fraternity was required to take care of public interest, who can really support and build the nation at that point of time, which was the topmost priority, and that much importance was given to the profession of accountancy. And we are proud to say ever since over the last 70 years we have partnered with the government. We have ensured that whatever policy they are planning to come out with, we have contributed immensely at both the stage of formulation of policy as well as at the implementation stage of policy. You talk about industrial policy, you talk about revenue, you talk about GST, the latest, you talk about insolvency, whatever are the tax reforms or reforms anywhere, you will find a chartered accountant and ICAI everywhere.
Absolutely. Congratulations for that. But since you mentioned public interest, would you agree, Rachel, when we talk about the profession of accountancy, public interest and service to the nation is an inherent characteristic?
Absolutely. Public interest is at the very core of everything we do. And we believe that public interest is just not a regulatory piece. Every one of the values of the accountants in the value chain of the economy is key. And so that's a really fundamental part of our profession.
Right. You mentioned about the implementation of GST, sir. Since 1st of July marked the first anniversary. Do tell us what role did the institute play and what are your thoughts on 1 year of GST?
Fine. That's a very interesting issue. I am proud to share that we were inherent part of the entire process of GST policy formulation as well as implementation. We were regularly invited by the government. We gave about 200 various suggestions on various facets of goods and service tax, and it's really a good and simple tax I should share with you. We gave about 200 suggestions, and out of it 132 suggestions of the Institute of Chartered Accountants are being adopted, implemented. Recently we were called upon to provide and give suggestions on the formats of GST audit that has been prescribed in the GST Act. So, we have given our suggestion and we are looking forward, and our members, our chartered accountants present in nook and corner of the country, all geared up, excited to support the government in the GST audit.
Absolutely.
format.
Prime Minister Modi and President Kovind have acknowledged the immense contribution of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and called them Team India for the effective implementation
Yes.
of GST. In fact, Prime Minister tweeted that the 1 year has been about growth, about simplicity, and also transparency. So how do you see the GST in India? And when we talk about the global profession, we now see VAT happening in the Gulf countries as well. How can one country learn from the best practices of the other?
I think that's part of being part of the IFAC family, that we do learn from each other. Right around the world, we look to other models to see what's worked where and well. And so to share that knowledge is part of being a really strong member in the IFAC family.
And IFAC has been a strong proponent for integrated reporting. Rachel, help the viewers of Doordarshan understand what are the key features of integrated reporting.
Look, integrated reporting is the next lane of reporting. It's really important. It's just not the numbers, it's what a company can do for the local community. A classic example is some of the mining companies. How do they put back in, and how is that measured? What jobs do they provide? How do they fix the mining pits that they've created and create futures for communities and the economy as a whole? And to measure that tangibly is how the accountants are helping.
But that's the big challenge. How would you measure tangibly purpose beyond profit?
Well, I think that's a lot of the sustainable nature of a corporation, and that's really important. So many corporations have such short lifespans, but we found those that measure and implement integrated reporting have a longer sphere because the community is involved in them.
Yes, absolutely. So what's the case in India? Would ICAI also want its members to endorse integrated reporting? Because we hear about chartered accountants making profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow, fund flow. Will there be a report on what is the value creation by the organization as a whole?
As far as integrated reporting is concerned, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is promoting it in a big way. It's one of the Sustainability Development Goal 2030, which has been set up by the United Nations. And it's all about, and here starts the public interest as far as accounting profession and accounting fraternity is concerned. And we just last year became the member of Integrated Reporting Council. I am the member of Council of IRC internationally, and we are regularly promoting, talking with Security and Exchange Board of India, because in India it has been mandated by the SEBI as business responsibility reporting in that format, though presently it is not mandatory, but we are working hands in hand with the government to make sure, because it is very important to see to it whatever we are contributing, we should be contributing to Mother Nature, and that's the public interest we are working to uphold.
Absolutely. That's a very important point. The Honorable President ICAI has mentioned that we need to take care of Mother Nature. Remember, each one of us has the common address, planet Earth. But when the debate happens between economy versus ecology, do you think that chartered accountants have a role to tell businesses that ecology has to be given preference?
They always have a role in this, and they act as a trusted advisor to all levels of corporations and small and large businesses. And without one, you can't have the other. And again, it's about the sustainability in a very long-term way.
Absolutely. Naveen, Prime Minister also says that India is now a nation that fosters innovation. For long, chartered accountants were seen either as a practicing chartered accountant or, say, in industry. But do you think the young chartered accountants now are entering the startup ecosystem?
I should say that the entire face of accounting profession in India is changing, because change is the only constant we all know. We started our journey as backroom professionals, but today you will see more and more professionals in the boardroom. So from backroom they are shifting to boardroom, and from auditors they are shifting to trusted business advisors. So that is the role of profession. This is the face of profession that is changing, and our professionals are adopting technology in big way. We as an institute also training our members in data analytics. You talk about robotics, and I can tell you, if you just travel from Delhi to Gurgaon, it's just a twin city, you will see many chartered accountants already have adopted robotics in big way. And I should share with you, we all know robotics, it's not about robots, it's just a software. And I should share with you, many accountants have told me the costliest of the robotics that is used by the accountants comes for just $10,000 US, that is just what I should say, not 5 to 6 lakh rupees. So our profession is already on technology. They understand the value of blockchain. We already have a certificate course on blockchain. Our members have adopted it. We would be starting training our members on robotics also, and we are preparing them to face the challenge. I should not say face the challenge, but to embrace technology in the big way in order to contribute towards the growth of the nation, because our Prime Minister has given us a target that in next 10 years we have to make this country take to the level of $5 trillion. There we understand we accountants have a bigger role to play, and in that direction, because we are one of the priority sectors in champion sector, that is the 12 sectors that has been identified to contribute in big way in achieving the dream of our Prime Minister to make India as a 5 trillion economy. Their export of accountancy service is the big stress area, I should say, and there in a borderless world, accountants have a larger role to play, and that role that they can play with the use of technology. You talk about robotics, you talk about artificial intelligence, you talk about mobility. We are fully geared up to take up any challenge and take the country to the next level.
Absolutely. You know, we had Chartered Accountant Suresh Prabhu, the Honorable Union Minister for Commerce and Industry, on our show, and he said that over the course of next 5-7 years, India will transform itself to a $5 trillion economy, of which Minister said $3 trillion will come from the services sector, $1 trillion from manufacturing, $1 trillion from agriculture. But if services have to see that paradigm shift, professional accountants have to embrace technology. You talk about racial crimes and the ABCD changes to artificial intelligence, blockchain, cybersecurity and data analytics. Help us understand, is it simple? Do we have any apprehensions on the technology?
Well, I see it as an opportunity, not a challenge.
Yes.
And there's never been a more exciting time to be a chartered accountant in the world, because the technology enables us to do much better work. It takes away the mundane compliance part of our work and allows us to look forward, not backwards, and be the trusted advisor. So it's an opportunity. We shouldn't be fearful. We should own it and embrace it. And you're right, ABCD does stand for artificial intelligence, blockchain, cybersecurity and data analytics, and these will become the foundations of our profession as we move forward. And it's the young people that are really attracted to those topics, and so we must help them along the way. And I compliment the Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants for the 14 initiatives that they've set up. They're fantastic, and I think the rest of the world will look to them for guidance in this topic.
So let me get some guidance on each of these. Can you help with some examples? What is artificial intelligence? What's the scope and the power?
Well, look, artificial intelligence just enables us in our everyday life. Very simple things like using Siri perhaps on your phone.
Yes.
That's an example of artificial intelligence, and we use that daily. Please call mum.
Yes.
So, you know, it's nothing to be scared of. It helps us.
But how will I use it, say, for example, my accounting work or internal audit, statutory audit?
So if you think in terms of artificial intelligence, how much compliance and regulation has happened to to our profession, that allows us to take away some of those components, and so that we can have checklists that get us through that component. Look at robotics. That really helps on an accounts payable function in a corporate entity such as where I work, and it can take away the matching of invoices, and we have really smart people who are doing that sort of work. Now they can look forward and work with the vendor.
So that means, will robots affect jobs of people?
It will affect jobs, but in a really positive way.
Okay.
So it will take just the more mundane work and allow us to do what we're trained to do, to help the customer, to help our clients.
But does that mean, Naveen ji, that for those who would like to enter the professional accountancy from here on, they need to upskill their competencies?
Yes, they need to upskill, but they don't need to learn core technology.
Okay.
They need to learn the skills, how to use technology in doing what they are doing. Just like to give you an example, I recently visited one of the Chartered Accountant office in Gurgaon. He was using robotics in whatever he's doing. So he was using it for the purpose of analyzing the data of a big corporate.
Okay.
He had the work of accounts outsourcing, so he was using it in a big way in order to reduce his manpower, his labor that goes into it. So as Rachel mentioned, so that he can focus on a better job.
You're saying just like Tally software, it's another software robot.
It's just a.
It's not as if somebody is there with me.
No.
Okay.
It's absolutely not at all a robot. It's a software. And mind you, our chartered accountant fraternity is using. There are many young chartered accountants who have got accounts outsourcing work from US. They are filing IT returns of US people from sitting in India. So the data is huge. So they are using these robotics in order to do that work more efficiently, give better value to the customers, and improve their top lines and bottom lines. So it's value creation for everybody, and it's not at all robots. It's simple software. You just need to have the skill how to use it. You don't need to be actually a technologist. You just need to upgrade your skill to use it, and it's a value creation. It's just an untamed tiger. And mind you, our profession, ever since we are born, we are the first and we are the pioneers who have taught industry how to use the technology. You talk about 286, 486 of 90s, or you talk about even calculator. We are the first people who have told industry how technology can be used. And mind you, these technologies, ABCD, what you are talking, these may be sophisticated, but these are not impossible. And our professional fraternity is fully ready. Mind you, in future, it is not the biggest who will survive, but the strong, faster that is going to survive. And our profession in India is very youthful, very mobile, and they know how to use this technology, and they would be leading the show in order to teach industry also how to use the technology.
Okay, let's come to the B and C part. An example of Bluetooth, just allay the fears there as well, and then cyber security. How important would that be for an accountant and auditor?
Well, let's start with cyber security. Really, the governance around that is really important and a great opportunity for people. If you look at any survey, they'll tell you that every board member, every director is most worried about cyber security.
Yes.
The governance around that, accountants can own that space, and it's a really exciting piece, just in terms of, using, having enough fences in place to protect like you would protect your home, and that's the process that we do. In regards to B of blockchain, that's amazing. That can really protect a lot of inventory. The Australian wine industry can follow where every bottle of their wine is sold through that. Through funds management, you have different opportunities of buying and selling your different components. And of course, we've seen the cryptocurrency as part of the blockchain piece. So it's, where you can transact anywhere in the world using that. So it can have many powerful uses that I'm sure we've never even thought of at this point.
Absolutely. So what are the other new horizons, Naveen ji, where you would like chartered accountants to focus their energies on?
Moving forward, as I mentioned, we are moving from backroom to boardroom.
Yes.
We are moving from audit to advisory.
Yes.
So there is a whole, I should say, the entire horizon is open.
Yes.
You talk about insolvency.
Yes.
That's a two-pronged strategy. You can benefit yourself as well as you have to benefit the society, the nation as well, because today the scheme of the government Make in India is concerned, we have a larger role, because unless until the old NPAs are resolved, and that could be resolved only through the process of insolvency. And mind you, our profession has already taken a driver's seat in that direction. The total number of insolvency professionals that this country today has, 60% of them are chartered accountant.
Very nice.
Institute of Chartered Accountant was the first to come out with insolvency professional agency. Valuation is a huge professional opportunity area with our nation already on Ind AS, and the company law 2013 mandating valuation for all related party transactions. So we are the first body to come out with the RVO, and we are the first body to come out with valuation standards in India, and our profession is fully geared up, and today we are already on Ind AS. In that direction, the entire battery of our chartered accountants are fully trained on Ind AS. So the global opportunities exist, and we are fully geared up to take up nation to the global.
So many opportunities from the global arena. But from the gender equality perspective, the profession of chartered accountancy across the globe, is it attracting males, females in equal proportion, or do you feel a gulf there?
Look, across the globe, women are joining the profession at a much higher rate than what they were. And it's really exciting because they realise that it's a profession that they can come in and out of, as they may take time out of work to have children or to travel. And so it's an opportunity where they can choose when and where they want to enter the workforce. And I think that's why, women are so attracted to this profession, and it's great to see.
And would you like to say something that women make better accountants than men, something like that? Or
well, the last 2 presidents of IFAC have been women, but we'll leave it at that.
But ICAI, members 3 lakh, 9 lakh students, you've got more girls and boys.
I'll share with you. Accountancy is a profession which enables women to maintain effective work-life balance, and that is really appreciated, and that translates into numbers also. And it gives me great proud to share with you that out of total 2,85,000 chartered accountants that we have in India, 25% of them are women. That translates into 71,000 chartered accountants who are women chartered accountants. Total today we have 8 lakh students. Out of it, 45% are women. So it's more than around near 4 lakh lady chartered accountants are ready to embrace the profession. And mind you, this many number of professional accountants, chartered accountants, 70,000 constitutes almost 90% of women chartered accountant. Those are there in the entire SAARC nation, that comprises 10 neighboring, 8 neighboring countries, 10 professional bodies which are there in 8 countries. So we constitute and represent 90% of women chartered accountant present, and they are all equal partners, and they are generally it is said women are better half in a family, but I should say they are the strongest part of our profession, and contributing effectively in the development of profession and development of nation.
That's very nice to hear. One other aspect that President Kovind touched when he launched the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India was when he said that in future there will be increased scope. He also cautioned that means that the professional accountants have increased responsibilities. When IFAC advocates stress on professional ethics and integrity, how do we understand that?
Ethics underpins everything we do.
Yes.
But I had the opportunity to meet with the Pope, and he said to us that the accountants own the money. So they're at the coalface. They see where the money's coming and going. That's a very big responsibility that we must take absolute care of. And so we need strong ethics at all parts of the value chain to put our hand up to say this isn't right. And I think that a really strong country, a strong economy, right beside it is a strong member body. And that's what we're seeing in India, and that's what we're seeing around the world.
And Rachel, you firmly believe that accountants have a pivotal role to combat corruption?
Absolutely. We are at the coalface. We do see that money flow. We need to stop what's not right.
And Naveen, would you like to reinforce the point for the viewers that ICAI is not an association of chartered accountants, it's a regulatory body, and it's very essential for ICAI to reinforce constantly importance of ethics and integrity in the profession.
Yes, absolutely. We are not at all an association. We are created by an act of parliament, and we have a strong public oversight. We have a council which is a apex body, and our council consists of 40 members. Out of it, 8 are nominated by the Government of India, and we work through various standing and non-standing committees. Each standing and non-standing committee has a government nominee. We have disciplinary committee benches. Every committee benches have 2 government nominees, and we take everywhere decision on consensus basis rather than on majority. So that is how public interest is strongly embedded in whatever we do. And I should share with you, today we realize the importance of financial statements and the role chartered accountants have in that direction, and that's the biggest job, that their biggest role and responsibility in public interest, because today world is becoming more and more global, and with technology, just to give you an example, today we are talking about a customer who may be sitting in US placing an order on a e-commerce platform where the procurement is taking place in India, and that the supplier may be getting the raw material from somebody in Bangladesh, and in all the 3 platforms there may be an investor sitting in British Virgin Islands. So global. Looking at the entire global landscape, so we need financial statements which follow benchmarks, accounting standards on ethics, the preparer of the financial statements, so that there is complete reliance, trust and comparability of financial statement, so the investors are taking sound decision. So that is the biggest responsibility that accountants have in public interest, and we have a very strong code of ethics, very strong disciplinary mechanism, very strong mechanism to ensure quality assurance. We have very strong quality review board, peer review board and quality review board who is taking care of all these aspects, and we are very strong in it, and we realize and we are fully aware of our responsibility. Our members are fully aware of our responsibility, and wherever it is required we are changing. This year we came out with the e-hearing of our disciplinary cases on a proactive basis, and we have sent it to the government. We are awaiting regulatory approvals, and we will be putting it to place. So I want to assure from this platform, stakeholders, government, regulators, accountants realize, recognize and are fully aware of their responsibility, and we are fully geared up to meet the expectations of the emerging landscape.
Absolutely. I think that is very, very reassuring. All the stakeholders watching the program today would agree that these days the stakeholders have moved from quality control to quality assurance, and that is very reassuring. In conversation today on the program, Good Evening India, we have CA Naveen Gupta, Honorable President ICAI, and Ms. Rachel Grimes, President International Federation of Accountants. And let me now discuss one of the best things that you are waiting for. Come November 2018, and the world will see Sydney hosting the World Congress of Accountants. What's the objective and how are the preparations?
Well, it's so exciting. It's going to be in my hometown of Sydney. I'm delighted. It's only a few more months away until that comes. Really, the World Congress of Accounting is like the Olympics for accountants.
Okay.
And so that gives the opportunity for accountants all over the world to come to Sydney, to share their experiences, to learn from each other, to network and have a massive education in just a few short days. But it really gets to understand the purpose and vision of IFAC as well.
And this would be spread over 4 days?
Yes, in November, early November, the 5th to the 8th of November. So it is an exciting moment for Sydney.
And what's India's plan to connect with Sydney's conference?
We are very excited to join. A large number of members have already expressed their interest. They would be traveling to Sydney to attend this opportunity. And mind you, I have in the past attended 2 World Congress of Accountants. One was in 90s in Berlin, and the another was in Hong Kong. So my experience with World Congress of Accountants has been very, very exciting and very good. It gives you great opportunity to understand different culture, people coming from diverse background, and understand what are the issues emerging, how the trends are emerging, regulatory trends, and how those are resolved, reacted by various professional bodies and professional accountants. So it's a great opportunity, and our members are really excited, express their interest, and we would be traveling to Sydney in a big number to not to miss this opportunity.
Absolutely. Be it Berlin, Hong Kong, Istanbul, Rome, now Sydney, the question that Indians are asking, what's the pleasant news you will share? When does India get to host the World Congress of Accountants?
Well, I'm delighted to announce tonight that India, in terms of the city of Mumbai, will be hosting the next World Congress after Sydney in 2022, which I know is also the 75th anniversary of India.
Yes.
And so it'll be an exciting time for IFAC, and I hope an exciting time for India.
Absolutely. Olympic Games happens once every 4 years, so does the World Congress of Accountants. And the big news that we're sharing with each one of you is that come 2022 and India celebrates 75 years of its independence, India for the first time will be hosting World Congress of Accountants. It almost gives me goosebumps, Naveenji. What a pleasant news this is.
Yes, it's really a pleasant news, and we have been trying for World Congress of Accountants since 1960s, but somehow we were not successful. But this time, because of the policies of the government, policies of our Prime Minister, particularly the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, I should share with you, of which Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is a brand ambassador and a partner. It is the success of the policies of the government that has enabled us to bring World Congress of Accountants to India in 2022, and I am happy to share that it is coinciding with when our country would be celebrating the Amrit Mahotsav of our country's independence in 2022, and we are very exciting. It is happening in the financial capital of the country in Mumbai, because we really believe in Atithi Devo Bhave, and we would be showing it to the world what it really means.
Well, look forward to Sydney 2018, look forward to Mumbai 2022. The world of professional accountants looks very attractive, and to help us understand this world better, Rachel Grimes, Naveen Gupta, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.